So, Darren, what did you think of the performance against the tournament?
It was improved from our last hit out. You know, we competed pretty well defensively. We looked more solid, more compact than our previous game. England, obviously a very good team, had some good possession, but didn't overly hurt us at times. You know, we had some moments in possession where we got into some pretty good areas first half on the counter, and for us, we just obviously it was disappointing to concede the goal. It was a good little move from England and Harry just pulling off, but you know, to concede just before half time hurt because we were pretty in the game, and we just have to be better in the moments when we get forward possession to have moments of quality where we can score goals.
Okay, up to you guys.
Darren, once again, that's one of those moments right at the end of a half,
Yeah.
Where there's a concession. You can't. It's one of the worst times. It's really hurt to see them. I guess just switch off briefly right then.
Yeah, it hurt. Yeah, it hurt the team. Came in at half time having sort of done okay and done pretty well, and you got through a good half. To concede that late and come in straight after we restarted was disappointing, and that coming in at half time was difficult. But the boys felt it was an improvement. They felt they were in the game. They knew it was hard. It was hard work, but it should be hard work. International football, and when you're playing against a team ranked 4 in the world, it's going to be hard. And I thought we dealt with it pretty well. And now the next step for us is can we now create chances when we're playing against teams of this level?
Just in terms of Finn Sermon bouncing that, I thought he bounced that pretty strong from the Haiti match, and then also Matt Gartlett came into the starting and made a real strong showing. What did you see from those two?
Yeah, I mean, we have got a strong squad, and we've told them there's opportunities for people to push for World Cup places. People got opportunities today, and I thought mostly did very well. Finn did bounce well. He's disappointed with the goal, where Kane just pulls off of him. But overall, he dealt defensively very well. Him and Boxy, and they defended the box really well. I thought it was a good team effort. And Garbs, we know Garbs, he adds a lot of energy. He's competitive, but that position is also competitive, and we've got players ready to take those positions if needed.
Just lastly from me for now, Max Crocombe played 84 minutes in goal. Is he your World Cup goalkeeper?
I thought he did well. We today, the last game when we played Haiti, we had pre-planned substitutions, at half-time and 60 minutes, and everybody knew how long they were playing. Probably similar to England today in regards to preparing for the World Cup, and it didn't suit us. People knowing how long they're going to play, made it feel maybe a bit more of a friendly, a bit more of a pre-season type game. So today we said, let's play it. It's a proper game. Treat it like a World Cup game. Go as long as you can. We did have a couple of people like Libby and Joe Bell on limited minutes, making sure they're good for the Iran game. But yeah, with the plan for Max was to play, see how he goes, go as long as we decide to. I thought he was pretty strong today. Potentially, I would like to get Alex on a little bit earlier. But sometimes when you're in a game at 1-0, you don't want to make too many changes because when do we get opportunities to draw or try and beat England, and at 60, 70 minutes at 1-0, we know one chance we can draw a game. We had a couple of opportunities, but weren't quite able to have that clear-cut chance. So we're in the game, but England saw the game out.
As you just said, Darren, do you think, given that answer, do you think you'll wonder what might have been for a historic result against such a big team? England was a better side, but
yeah.
Do you think you'll wonder what might have been?
I think, we talked about this at half-time, before the game, they're great lads, and I don't think anybody was worried about England. We know they're a good team, we know they're players, but I think during the first half they felt that they were in that game and they were at that level defensively and in possession with moments. So at half-time we talked about we're 1-0 against a team ranked 4 in the world, potential World Cup favourites, one of the favourites, and we're in this game, and when will you ever get another chance to have this? It's hard. The players worked so hard today in really hot conditions, especially in some of our positions. Garbutt and Eli having to, to initiate our press at times was tough. But yeah, we will look back and wonder, could we have created that one moment? A couple of times we got into crossing positions and weren't quite good enough. We had those few in the first half that flashed across the box. I think it's given us enough to go against a very, very good team with very good players. We can be compact and we can be difficult to break down, and we've got enough good players to keep our possession and get into good areas, and then we need players to have that moment.
And what needs to be done over the next 7 or 8 days to try and get more solid defensively, or just cut out these costly moments, I guess, that are...
Yeah, I mean, I think the boys now have worked hard for a couple of weeks, played the 2 games, acclimatised pretty well, so we will now travel to San Diego tonight, and then there'll be a couple of lower days, a couple of rest days to get over this window as such before we hit the bubble, the FIFA bubble, and every day we're working. We're in meetings, there's conversations going on, there's training. Boys are determined to be the best they can be and show people how good they can be when the World Cup comes around.
Do you have your starting 11 in your head for the first match?
No. Close.
Final questions from anyone?
Darren, have you seen, Sarpreet Singh's had a couple of quiet games, the number 10 role. What have you seen from him in these 2 matches?
When you say quiet, I think it's a bit harsh. I think he's been excellent. He keeps the ball really well. He links play really well. What we haven't seen from him is that final killer quality that we know he's got. But I think his possession and his ability to keep the ball in high areas and bring people into play, I think he's very, very good. As some of the other guys are, but he's so clean with his touch. We know he can live at this level, because he's got quality in him, and these minutes are going to be great for him. And I think if we can get him in certain positions higher up in the pitch, we know that he can create those moments where we can go and score goals.
And just to go back to Max, obviously they both played 45, they're both 2 goalkeepers. But going into this match, treating it like a match, knowing the first goalkeeper on the pitch was someone you might not take off until late, what got Max the start for this match?
We'd always planned AP start the first game, Max come on, and then Max start the second game. We looked at different ways. Obviously, we've got 2 very good goalkeepers, we've got 3 very good goalkeepers, but these 2 are pretty special. And we looked at, do we give them 1 game each? We felt, Haiti and England was potentially not fair for either of them, and we wouldn't be able to compare them. Haiti obviously didn't turn out the way we really wanted it to. So, yeah, that was the plan. Start AP that one, start Max this one. And to be fair, like I say, when we're in a game at 1-0 and you've got England, we didn't really want to make too many changes to too many positions and players, because it becomes disjointed, like we saw against Haiti. And Max was in the flow of the game, as was Boxall and Finn Sermon. So we let them go. Like I say, I potentially would have got AP on earlier. So, yeah.
Do you think you got it wrong the other night? And I guess, do you think this performance today has probably lifted hopes back home?
When you say got it wrong?
In terms of pre-planning and, what you said about players sort of...
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about it. I think most countries, including England today, when they're playing their first game, they want to get everybody good minutes, acclimatise, get the legs moving and get into the World Cup. And potentially, England were good today, but they need to be better to go and win the World Cup than they were today, even though they won the game. And this is a game where they all got 45 minutes and they got into the World Cup. They've obviously got players coming back in that are not quite ready yet. So, I think most teams at World Cups are doing this. Potentially, it would have been good to get a local game to get that first sort of game out of the way, in hindsight. But, I still, like I've said all along, I like Haiti, England, I'll take Iran. I'm winning it against Iran all day.
Cool, everybody, thanks for that. We will call that there. We have to go and get a plane very shortly to San Diego and our base camp. So see you guys later. Thanks, guys.
Good luck.
We'll be back in for the England press conference shortly.
I thought you summed it up.